We would like to welcome back our guest attorney, David Wiedemeyer of O'Grady and Wiedemeyer, which focuses its practice on residential real estate. Today, he will be giving you tips on what to do in the event your lender sues. David, welcome.
Thanks for having me back, Mark.
Appreciate you being here. David, what should a homeowner do if they are sued by their lender for foreclosure?
Well, just to kind of refresh our viewers' memories, there's a couple common actions that the lender could file against the homeowner, and if they're having issues paying their mortgage. One is a foreclosure action, and that's to foreclose on the property and ultimately try to sell it so they get some of their money back. I brought some props today. This is an actual judicial foreclosure action that's been filed, so it's not a myth. They actually do it. Sometimes we hear that there's the new law that's in place for the non-judicial foreclosures and that these aren't happening, but that's simply not the case. And really what the homeowner needs to focus on is what's best for them. Obviously it sounds like a simple question, but depending upon their situation can be a very complex answer. Sure. And really they need to take action. Letting the home go to foreclosure is like waving the white flag. The homeowner is really putting themselves in a position where they're not really exercising any of their rights, or they're not taking advantage of certain avenues that can really help them out. Now, regardless of whether they want to keep the house or not, it's good to take some action, especially going to see seasoned individuals who have handled these before. And just because you're sued for judicial foreclosure doesn't mean that's the end all be all. I've held many short sales together where they're actually being sued.
Very good, very good. What should a homeowner do if they are being sued by the lender for the money that they've lost after a foreclosure? What action should they take?
That's the other lawsuit that we had discussed in past episodes, and that's the deficiency action.
Right.
They're trying to get that remaining money that the homeowner is obligated to pay them. Here's an example of that. And these lawsuits do happen, especially depending upon who the lender is. Some lenders are more forgiving than others, but these actions are filed and people are affected by them. Now, specifically, you really want to, if you get the judicial foreclosure action, you really want to seek the advice of seasoned professionals who have handled these situations before, so that they get that deficiency balance released or minimized as much as possible through the negotiation of the short sale. Yeah. But if the homeowner finds himself in a position where they haven't done that, and their lender is pursuing them, which is actually not fairly common.
It happens.
It does happen.
Right.
They need to take some action, because if the homeowner does not respond to this, they're going to go through court proceedings to ultimately get a judgment, and that's when you hear horror stories about people getting their wages garnished, bank accounts swept, things like that. Now, really, I brought this as my little favorite example of the hard work that we've done on files before, working with seasoned realtors who really know what they're doing. This is ultimately a letter, or a version of a letter that the homeowner is going to get in terms of what the terms are of the short sale. And you want to look for some nice language in it, like City Mortgage will give a full release and reconveyance of the loan as agreed, and no deficiency judgment will be pursued.
That's the good language.
That's the good language. So the homeowner has this for their file. This means that all the remaining balance of the money that's owed to the lender, to the bank, is waived. Now, you think that if you got a letter like this, you would be home sweet home. But unfortunately, sometimes the lender forgets to properly communicate internally, and there's a lawsuit still filed against the individual. But since the homeowner had this, it was a very quick and easy fix, and ultimately resulted in a nice little piece of paper like this filed with the court. It's a dismissal with prejudice. That means the lender can never pursue them for this debt again.
So those that aren't waived, and if they ignore the banks, let's say a bank wants $10,000 and the homeowner just ignores it, they can what? Garnish wages?
Garnish.
Swipe?
You know, they file this action, and then they go seek a judgment, and then what they do is they have a time where they go before the court and they prove their damages. And if it's a promissory note, like a mortgage is, it's very, very easy. They have an accounting ledger, how much has been paid, and then they ask the judge for a specific amount, plus interest, plus attorney's fees. And you know, attorneys generally like to get in make sure that their money is taken care of as well. So that's when they go after whatever assets you have that aren't protected, okay? And that's a variety of assets. That's checking accounts, savings accounts. They could file liens on the judgment on different properties. And also they can, if it's even not necessarily retirement accounts, but certain investment assets they can go after as well.
Now, what if the property is in a trust or an LLC or something like that? Would the homeowner, or in this case the investor, if it's an investment property, would they go after their personal assets and assets, or?
Correct. A promissory note is the document, the contract, or one of the documents that is obviously signed when you buy a home. That's an unconditional promise to repay the debt based on certain terms, okay? So whether it be 6-month payment, monthly payment, whatever the deal is in terms of the note, and that's a personal guarantee.
So they're personally guarantee.
Each homeowner, is personally liable for that debt. And it's not a shell game where you can throw an LLC here, put the home in a trust, then it's owned by the LLC, then it doesn't. There's clawback, which basically means if you're doing things and using these instruments to try to defraud creditors, they're not protected.
Yeah, and I know a lot of attorneys suggest that they put these homes in LLCs, and I know there's a little bit different subject, but what protections do they have by putting them in the LLCs or the trusts?
Well, not really. If you think about it, you have two things. One person owns the home, say it's the LLC, but that person is still liable for that debt. So it doesn't really matter. You can shift title around to whoever, but at the end of the day, the homeowner still has that note that they sign that says, I will pay you back that money.
So we go back to the original, do a short sale, get released, and
exactly
move on. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being on our show today. And as a reminder out there, we at 048 Realty do have a network of experienced attorneys who will represent you throughout the short sale process at no charge to you. And I repeat, no charge to you. We believe our clients should be represented by a team of seasoned professionals who can protect their rights, help them understand the short sale process, and avoid potential pitfalls. David, thank you very much as always for being here, and you're very informative as always.
Thanks, Mark. It's always my pleasure. And I'd just like to say one thing to our viewers. It's my understanding that we're also going out to California now.
We are.
I'm not licensed as an attorney in California, so I just kind of have to give my disclaimer. Please seek the advice of a licensed California attorney if you're considering short selling your home in California. But if you have any questions, you can give us a call, area code 702-726-6807.
Thank you, David.
Keeping or buying a home in Las Vegas is no longer an easy task. You need someone who has local experience, integrity, and dedication to help you. 048 Realty has helped Las Vegas families in need for the past 10 years. It is a team of real estate professionals with a proven track record.
Hi, if you're looking for a fresh start and keep your home, or if you're looking for the best value in a new home in Las Vegas, please call us now.
048 Realty, a local company you can lean on in bad.